How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Taxes Made Simple. I'm your host, Carlton Dennis, and in today's video, I wanted to give you guys a tour of my vehicles. I want to really show you how do you write off a Tesla Model Y and how do you write off a Porsche 718 Cayman inside of your business legally. Let's talk. All right, guys, now before we jump into how I write these cars off, I'm going to tell you why I even bought them, okay? So starting off with the 2019 Porsche Cayman, you know, the reason why I purchased this car was this was actually my very first sports car. When I was 25 years old, I was working as a young sales representative inside of my mother's company, making a comfortable six-figure living, and I knew that it was going to be important for me to have a car that I could market as I get on social media. So I paid a little bit more and got a Porsche, even though I was young and something that I probably won't advise to every 25-year-old, but I did it. And it was expensive at the time. For me, I had to make a $7,000 down payment to get into this car. And I think it was listed at about $65,000, $67,000 at the time. The Porsche 718 Cayman, I decided to lease instead of buy. And let me explain to you how my write-off works for this car. So when it comes to writing this car off, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I did was that I made sure that when I purchased the car, that it was going to be eventually a business vehicle for me. You know, starting out, I was working as a W-2 employee, so I wasn't able to write off my car payments. But when I started my business, I knew that I wanted this car to be the car underneath my corporation. So what I did was I decided to draft a leasing agreement where I leased my car, this Porsche 718 Cayman, to my C corporation. Inside of my C corporation, my car is now a tax deduction and I'm able to write off 100% of those car payments. When I purchased this vehicle, the car payments were about $800 at the time. They're still $800. And this car is gonna go back in May of 2022. So I got it for about another 2.5, 3 months. But it was my very first sports car. It has so many memories to me. And some of the things I love about it is the original Porsche look that it has. When you step into the car, you can see the dash. It's just that original Porsche design. The steering wheel is just comfortable, leather. And you got that Porsche emblem glowing at you every single day when you get into this car. When I got into this car, it motivated me. It gave me energy. It showed me that there were things that I needed to do in order to continue to enjoy luxuries like this. Obviously, material things aren't everything, but when you are at a place where you are ready to start enjoying some things, you might want to start spending some money on some things that you can drive that are fast and fun at the same time. And so I made that purchase a little earlier in my lifetime to just get a taste of what that experience could look like, and it motivated me to grow my businesses. So one of the reasons why I purchased this car and I got it as a lease was because I wasn't at the point in time as a 25-year-old where I was gonna buy a Porsche. I didn't have that money yet, and I was making a decision prematurely. I'm still glad I did, because this car has made me more money than you can think possible. And I know it's hard to conceptualize that a vehicle can help you make money, but when you're putting out the amount of content that I'm putting out on top of the car, in the trunk, driving in the car, the amount of content that I'm putting out, there's an appearance standpoint that starts to change in another business owner or entrepreneur's mind. They start to associate some of these materialistic things that you have with income, with success, with experience. Guys, many tax professionals, as you know, they don't look like me, okay? They're not this retired football player looking like tax professional. They're the bookworm that you see behind the computer desk with the glasses doing all this work that's piled up to their necks. I'm not that type of tax professional. So being a 25-year-old tax professional, I had to take a different marketing approach to show other entrepreneurs that I knew what I was talking about and that I was serious about business and helping them reduce their tax bill. And the Porsche that I purchased helped me do so. Not for everybody and not for every business owner, but it was a tactic and a skill that I wanted to adopt, being able to market myself while using a product like a car. I drive this car all the time and I show it off. I park in front of Equinox. I make sure I valet park my car, and I have made more money from parking my car at Equinox, over 6 figures, just by having this car. So you tell me, was it worth it? I think so. Now, as time went on, my income started to increase. And as my income started to increase, this little $800 write-off wasn't enough anymore. So then I had to figure out and get savvier. How can I buy another car underneath my business without the IRS tripping out? How can I make sense of me buying another car inside of my business? Well, maybe I can hire somebody inside of my business that needs a car as well. I hired my wife. You see, my wife was working as a W-2 employee at the time. Since then, she had retired from her job at a very young age and joined me to work inside of my company. When I thought about it, I said, you know what? It might even make more sense for me to have a management company that manages my corporation that my wife could be underneath. So I set up a management company. And when I set up a management company, I decided to buy the Tesla Model Y. When I purchased this car I did buy because I knew that I wanted to claim depreciation on this car outside of just being able to write off the car payments. You see, when you buy a car instead of lease a car, the government gives you depreciation, the ability to take the entire vehicle's purchase price over the course of 5 years. A $60,000 car written off over the course of 5 years is a $12,000 tax deduction on top of the $800 car payment that this car currently has. So when you do the math, I was saving a lot of money by having this car associated with another business that I had. Rather than having this car inside of the same business that I had my original Porsche inside of, I decided to set up a management company. Now you might be asking yourself, Carlton, why did you set up a management company? Well, every time my original corporation pays my management company, my original corporation gets to record a tax deduction for doing so. Inside of my management company receives that income as taxable income, but my write-offs inside of my management company, such as this new Tesla, can offset the tax burden. Also, inside of a C corporation, there's only a 21% federal tax rate. Taxpayer, as your income starts to increase, as you become a 7-8-figure earner, you're gonna want your taxes only taxed at 21%. But as you know, inside of a C corporation, there is double taxation anytime you decide to take payroll or dividends. Why not set up a management company that manages your C Corp, that's an S corporation that you can draw payroll out of, and then take another vehicle deduction? And that was my thought process. When I purchased this Tesla, one of the things that I loved about this car was the white interior, of course. My wife loves red, okay? She has always had red cars. When we got this car and I decided to have her join my business, the trade-off is that the Tesla is being purchased in red. Carlton wanted white or black, she wanted red, wife gets red, okay? So the Tesla's red and the interior is white. At least I got what I wanted on the interior. But I love this big dashboard, this iPad of a machine that they decided to put in here with all this technology. It's really a change up from being in the Porsche. That's such an old school car with, you know, the old school dashboard, to having this completely technology dashboard where you're doing everything pretty much on an iPad screen. When I first bought this car, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know how to change the air conditioner. I did not know how to change the mirrors. I had to spend about an hour in this car just to figure it out. But after you figure the car out, you start to realize, dude, this car is actually very practical. Not only is it practical, it's fast. I can get off the line faster than my Porsche in this car. And we've taken quite a few road trips already since we purchased it. We love to go up to San Luis Obispo, which is where I went to college. We've gone to Vegas a few times in this car. And if we do decide to have children soon, obviously there will be plenty of seats to put them in the back. Now, one of the things that I also like to do, which I'm picking up pretty quickly here, is I'm starting to pick up golf, right? And so I'm able to sit my clubs in the back of the car, drop the seats down if I want to drop the seats down, and now I'm able to roll. I don't have to fit my clubs into my Porsche and have my whole experience cramped over there. I can ask my wife if I could take the business car and take this to the golf range and hang out with the boys. So this gives me a lot of options, and these two vehicles, I wouldn't really call them high luxury vehicles, but I would call them practical vehicles for business owners. I'm not driving a Lamborghini yet. I'm not driving a Ferrari yet, but I am driving something that I can market, something that's comfortable and something that suits both me and my wife. Now, I want to go over how I'm writing these cars off one more time in case you were confused. I was able to write off the down payment as well as the car payment. That also means I'm able to write off the car insurance. I'm also able to write off the tires. I'm also able to write off the oil changes, but the car is leased. Porsche has to cover all those payments. Now, when it comes to the Tesla, I bought the Tesla. I bought the Tesla under our management company. When I bought the Tesla, I'm taking depreciation. Depreciation allows for you to write off a vehicle over the course of 5 years. The vehicle is about $60,000, so I'm getting about a $12,000 write-off over the course of 5 years. I could leverage bonus depreciation and accelerate some of that write-off to the first year, but this car does not weigh over 6,000 pounds, which means I'm not gonna be able to write off the full vehicle $60,000 in 1 year. If I had purchased the Tesla Model X, which is even a bigger Tesla, then yes, I would be able to write off that vehicle's purchase price all in 1 year, but at the time, I just really didn't feel like needing that car. Now, if you're someone like me and you have liked these cars, the Porsche, the Tesla, you might be wondering, when does it make the right sense to pull the trigger on buying a car like this inside of your business? Does the IRS care that you have a Porsche and a Tesla inside of your same company, or and one inside of a management company and one inside of your operational company like my setup is? The answer is not really. Here's the reason why. You have to be able to afford to buy these things. The IRS understands that, and as a business owner, you need business income to be able to buy these business vehicles. So rather than just assuming that the IRS is gonna audit you because you have a nice car, think first about what type of income you're making to be able to afford the car. If it's ordinary and reasonable to you, the business owner, then you can afford the car and write it off inside of your business. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't have a vehicle just because it's expensive when you're making good money inside of your business. It is up to you, business owner, to decide which vehicle you would like to write off inside of your business and how you wish to write it off inside of your business. Now, if you guys are interested in learning about how you can take a vehicle deduction, how you can take the 179 plus bonus depreciation, you can contact my office to schedule a free complimentary consultation. We'd be happy to set you up with a call. If you're somebody that's thinking about getting into a new vehicle, hey, I commend you. There'll be a new vehicle coming in my way probably in the next couple of months. Tune back into my channel so I show you how to write off the new vehicle that I'll be purchasing. And if you have any questions, leave your comments below. My name is Carlton Dennis. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And if you enjoyed it, I'd love for you to do something for me. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what it is. I'll see you guys on the next video. Over and out. Bye.